All right, guys, on the show today, we have a serial entrepreneur running 6 different real estate businesses. They intertwine together to create a super business. And also one of them, we're going to talk about it once again. As you know, another industry leader is joining eXp Realty. And why wouldn't they, when you talk about the opportunities that they have, especially alongside their investing business. We're not just going to talk about how to combine, like what we normally do, an investing business and a sales business together. We're going to talk about 6 different businesses. Our guest today is Dani Lynn Robison out of Ohio. And they've done almost 1,000 transactions in different parts of their business model. They run a turnkey company, Freedom Turnkey. They're now Independence Realty Group here with eXp Realty, partner with us. And we're going to talk about their investing business, their turnkey property management business, and all their other businesses. She's going to name them for you because I can't even remember them all. There's so many, and how they intertwine together, which is what you entrepreneurs need to understand. As you build one business, it opens up the door for another one, and you layer these together to create multiple rivers funneling to one income lake that becomes really big over time. So Dani, really excited to have you on here. So let's hear a little bit about you and the businesses that you started, and kind of dig in and let's talk about how they kind of cross over each other.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for the intro. So we have 6 businesses. And what I was just telling Connor a second ago was Freedom Real Estate Group is kind of our baby because it's what launched it all. But if we're going to talk about how they all intertwine, I just had a meeting with the team yesterday and was really breaking it down for them as well so they can understand different aspects. Because as you can imagine, somebody coming in, a new employee, they're going, which company do I work for and what am I doing? So we've got Swift REI Leads. It's our lead generation company. It's at the very, very top. We say, and it funnels leads to our a wholesaling company, which is Cash for Ohio Houses. That bubble right there then sells to our 2 other entities that are just property holding entities, but one is a turnkey real estate entity that we end up selling to other out-of-state investors who want cash flowing rental properties. The other entity is our flipping entity, where we're going to wholesale some deals and also do some retail flips. If there's rehab that needs to be done in those 2 entities, it's going to go into the center to Bulldog Renovations, which is our rehab company. And then after the rehab's done, and then it spits back out, and this is where Independence Realty Group comes into play, because if it's a retail property or a wholesale, it's going to go to Independence Realty Group. Our agents are going to list it in that property. If it's a turnkey property, it goes down to Freedom Real Estate Group, which is our turnkey marketing brand. And even those are now funneling to Independence Realty Group, so our agents are listing those on the MLS. And then any of our turnkey properties land at the very final bubble, which is the property management company. And all of these intertwine in a way that we refer business to each other. And like I was just telling you, the advantage of getting into eXp was, the ability to hit icon status with what is already existing in our companies. And we just added like this bombshell of, hey, we can do so much more.
I mean, it's just a massive amplifier and another residual income stream, as well as with what you're doing with the volume you're doing, an equity business model. So I explained to investor agents that are also looking at eXp. We just sat down with a monster agent here in Texas. Some of y'all probably know, I'm not going to out the name, but there's a big announcement probably coming up here soon. What we talked about is how you can now have an active income component on both sides of the business, a residual income component on both sides of the business, because you have your notes and your rentals and your passive lending, and over here now you have revenue sharing, and then you also have an equity component, equity through real estate ownership and equity through stock awards. And so it gives you the ability to have active income, equity, and residuals on both sides, sales and investing, which has never really happened before. So exciting. But that is an incredible business. I'm excited just to hear about it. And you obviously clearly have a good pulse on it. A lot of people are doing lots of things, but they probably couldn't really relate how you just did, where they all connect in a strategic, intelligent manner. So I'm excited to kind of break these down. Also, I think people are sitting here saying, finally, someone talks as fast as Connor. And
sorry about that.
No, that's good, because I talk about this. A lot of people say I talk too fast. I say they listen too slow. And the problem is most people don't do things quick enough. You can't run 6 businesses at once unless you read fast, you write fast, you type fast, you talk fast, you walk fast. If you want to hit your goals fast, guys, you need to do things quickly and stop being a perfectionist. Get things done. And I think people aren't understanding. That's why you can listen to Audible on 1.5x speed, 2.0x speed.
Yes.
When you talk to people that talk fast, they're usually getting stuff done, because that's why they talk fast. Now,
that's right.
Okay, so let's talk from the top down here. So lead generation. So what are some of the things that you are doing to generate leads? And then so you are now able to capitalize on both sides. You have, kind of give me a couple of your marketing funnels. Maybe what's your favorite strategy? You're doing cold calling, direct mail. And then so they come in, you cherry pick the best ones to work yourself maybe, and then you have acquisition teams to go out to work thin deals. And then you tell me about your business.
No, you nailed it. You kind of have the picture already. So Swift REI Leads is a lead generation company. We do Facebook marketing. My favorite though is when we stack lists. So we take motivation factors of sellers, right? If they have some liens on the property, if they're in foreclosure, or if there's a probate situation, we'll take all those motivation pieces and we'll stack them together to build a, super hot list of who they are. Then we hire a direct mail company to do specialty mails. I mean, we've gotten a phone call before with, hey, I just received a piece of mail in a popcorn bag. I mean, it's really unique pieces that forces people to go, what the heck? And so we really want to grab that attention, because if it's that hot of a lead, then there's something there and we want them on the phone. So that's probably my favorite, because it's so unique and we get funny voicemails all the time. But then social media marketing is great. And we're starting to do a lot more. We don't do cold calling yet. We do a lot of texting. Man, that is just one of the best methods to get people to respond, because not everybody wants to jump on the phone. Some people are introverts and just don't want to talk to anybody. So we get a lot of leads that way through texting.
Well, I got the solution for you. We need to sit down. I know you were on vacation, so I hope it was a good one. But Chris and I should sit down with you about, so we have a new ManyChat bot system, and we're using a lot with bots and Facebook and funnel systems and automated 24/7 immediate speed to lead within the exact second when the lead comes in. This is going to eliminate virtual assistants. We have a podcast coming out with John Smart, they call him Smarty, that you guys are going to want to check out if it hasn't already come out. And this is something you're going to want, Dan. This could help all your business models. And essentially, he was one of the heads of the commercial real estate departments for IBM and helped create their Facebook campaigns and ManyChat bot system. And this stuff's impressive, guys. So go check out that podcast when it comes out. And this is something I know you're going to like when you see it. Okay, so the leads come in. And then now the thin leads, you're going to send to your agents, the ones that want full value. And then the high equity leads come in and you work those yourself. Okay, so how does the process happen with your turnkey properties? So are you doing full renovations on these, or are you just taking ones that are kind of rent ready and you're putting a tenant in there, and then you help kind of break down that? Because a lot of people are interested in the turnkey process to either be a turnkey provider, or they're looking because they're on the East Coast or West Coast. And give the name, and guys, if you want to reach out to Dani, she has turnkey properties. So if you're in California or you're in New York and you guys are trying to invest, so we know the stock market's burned down right now. Put it somewhere that you know is real, not stock market can implode, because I just lost a bunch of money. But
yeah, that's right. So Freedom Real Estate Group is the turnkey marketing brand. We just introduced a second program. So the first one that you mentioned was where we rehab. So we have property standards that we built out for all of our contractors. So it's sort of like a McDonald's franchise. Every single property, if you walk into it and come visit us, you're going to see same paint, same type of LVT, just everything's going to be exactly the same, so that you know what to expect every time you buy a property from us. And it's full rehab, very high standards, higher standards than you're going to see in most of the neighboring properties. So we do get top rent for all of our properties. But we just introduced a program for people who are okay with, hey, you don't have to do all of that work. I actually would love to get a discount on my property. It's move-in ready right now. I'll stick the renter in there. As long as the mechanicals are good, those are the big expenses. The roof is good, things like that. So we introduced, it's called an as-is program. And so we're putting a discount on those, and we're putting tenants in there and managing them and then selling those as well. So it depends on the type of investor, the areas that they want to buy, and what type of property that they want to get.
Yeah, so I get all the time, because my channel's watched all across North America. I hear people say, oh, you can't get houses at those price points. We're talking about like $30,000 house in Jackson, Mississippi, because they see somehow in their market they don't have them. What is like a typical turnkey property in your market? Give me some basic numbers. Market value, are they buying these at 100 cents on the dollar? Are you giving them any equity in there? Or are they, what's a typical cash flow return on investment could these investors expect to see? And what do you think is a good bread and butter if they want to mimic your business model in their market to go after?
Sure. So in Dayton, Ohio, which is where we're at, you're going to see for multifamily properties, 12% cap rate or higher on those. And those, they fly immediately. As soon as we hit something on our internet website for a multifamily property, it's gone. So it's just because the cap rates are so great. You're always going to get good cash flow on a multifamily property. On your single family, it depends on the class, whether it's A class, B class, or C class. A class, you're going to look at anywhere between 6 to 8% cap rate. B class, you're going to look at 8 to 10. C class, you're going to look at 10 to 12. So then it depends on what type of investor are you. Are you looking for appreciation? If you're looking for appreciation, you want an A class property. You're going to have less cash flow, but you will be in a nicer area. You're going to get the nicer tenant. If you want the middle ground, which is most of our investors, you're going to look at the B class. You're still going to have a chance at appreciation. We tell everybody though, buy a rental property for the cash flow. Who cares about appreciation? That's the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, that type of thing. C class is really the people who are focused purely on cash flow. And our as-is program, to answer that final question, we'd usually do a 15 to 20% discount off the after repair value. So they're getting that instant equity in there because we really didn't have to do much. We did what we needed to bring it up to standard. So it's a good rental property for somebody, but not all the way our full rehabs.
Okay. Are you seeing a lot of people leverage these? Or are you seeing them because the price points are a little bit lower and higher? They're funding all cash out of pocket, or what are you typically seeing?
Yeah, I would say 90% of our buyers are financing, and that didn't used to be the case. I would say 2 years ago, they were almost 100% cash, just because of the price points and the market at that point in time. They were just throwing their cash into properties and then refinancing out. So there was one lender, I think, that was refinancing out within 6 months and so a lot of our cash buyers were on that program. Let me grab it now because cash buyers get first shot at everything. So they buy it and then refinance 6 months out.
And that's pretty typical on seeing because price points have appreciated so much. It's no longer return favor to leave your cash in there. What about mobile homes? Are y'all doing mobile home parks? Is there a lot of units in your area, or is this something that you're staying away? Because I know you're doing multifamily. But what about mobile homes on land? This is a big topic lately. I get asked about a lot. Mobile home parks.
Yeah, we haven't gotten into that. I've got a couple friends that do that in Texas and Arizona, but I have not ventured into mobile homes yet.
I'm not trying to throw a shiny squirrel on your plate, but have you thought about, you may already, but because you're doing these turnkeys, do you have a relationship with specific lenders in your market that you can leverage for these out-of-state buyers that may just be coming across as new in the industry? You know, they're trying to get in, flip the first house, but they really want to build passive income that you can refer them to that works closely with your company?
Yes, we do. I don't have the names right off chance, but my transaction coordinator, she's got a list of 3 lenders. And if anybody wanted to email me for those lenders, we refer them out because they are used to out of state and even out of country buyers. And so they're very turnkey the same way we are, very hands off. It's easy to do. They fund, I would say, at least 80% of all of our deals. We'll use one of those 3 lenders.
Okay, so I know people are going to ask, so I get this a lot about lead selection as they come in. You're doing this massive marketing funnel at the top of lead generation. And obviously the ones that have no equity, you're giving these to potential agents to list for you. And I'm sure you're hiring, bringing on lots of agents right now because people know you're expanding, you have a lot of inventory. But what about, so how do you decide whether your turnkey properties are ones that you're going to flip and rent, or is it because of price points, the ones that you keep for your flipping business that you're doing traditional retail fix and flips? How do you decide as the lead comes in, the direction you're going to take that lead?
Okay, so you nailed it. It's really price point. So a lot of people are buying in the Dayton and Midwest area because of price point. So they're looking for anything between $75,000 to $125,000 is that range. Our sweet spot, an average of our sales is about $106,000. So anytime we get into a higher range, or if the cap rate doesn't work, because we don't have a lot of A-class. People are looking for cash flow. So we have an A-class property right now that could have been a turnkey property or a retail flip. We made it a retail flip because we pitch it to our turnkey people and they're like, oh, that's not enough. That they're used to the B and C numbers, and that wasn't a high enough cap rate for them. So that's how anything above, say, the 125 range, we're typically going to do a retail flip on it. Or if the cap rate just doesn't have it as attractive cash flow due to taxes or anything else, we're probably going to go ahead and flip that.
Okay, now a lot of flippers, they go back and forth. Do I bring construction crews in-house? Do I sub out everything, or do I hire in Dallas? Different parts of the country have different verbiage. We call them make-ready crews, where it's just a general contractor with a team of 4 or 5 agents that you just basically give them the keys and they give you property back. So you decided to bring everything in-house and put them on, you have contractors on salary, or how does that kind of structure work? And kind of, did you transition at one point in your business? Because this is something a lot of house flippers are trying to decide in their business, what's the best way to go and why?
Yes. And this is good. It's been a conversation for us since we began. So Bulldog Renovations we've had in place for 2 years. Primarily, we are a kind of a general contracting company. So we found other general contractors who managed everything except for skilled trades. We would hire them to do like the main job, but we would also hire out our HVAC, our electrician, our roofers, our plumbers. All of that would be done by us. So we are kind of like the main general contractor. We would hire skilled trades, then we hire a general contractor. So we didn't have to pay the salaries except for our field assistants, our project managers, rehab coordinators, the people that had to make the machine run for the type of volume that we do. However, this year, after looking back at 2019 financials, for example, HVAC we spent $90,000 on last year. We'll double that with the volume we're doing. So it makes perfect sense to now hire somebody at $40,000 to $50,000, maybe $60,000, and then buy the material. We just cut our HVAC expenses in half. So now we can do more. Even if we're teetering on whether we want to replace it, why not replace it? We've got the guy, we're getting great prices. So we are starting to bring in-house. Handyman we're hiring, it's a second employee. We'll bring an electrician and plumber in next, and we'll just keep on going from there. As we look at financials and go, now it makes sense. Bring them in, we're going to save money.
So y'all storing, y'all buying in bulk, y'all buying carpet in bulk, you're buying, are you shipping things in from overseas? Are you storing in storage units? Because this is one of the things that can really give you an edge in the marketplace to be aggressive compared to your competition, because if you could pay your contractors a little bit less because you're giving them more work and it's consistent for them and they'll take a little bit less, and you can knock down even 10 cents a square foot on a carpet, and it adds up and allows you to offer $3,000-$4,000 less but make the same profit, and you can beat out your competition.
Yes, you nailed it. We just implemented that same thing. We just got a warehouse. It's 5,000 square feet. We've got Lowe's and Home Depot. We're already negotiating with them. We've got some flooring suppliers that they'll actually store it for us. So we actually can have our contractors go there, pick it up, or have it delivered for free. We're buying anything that's large in bulk. We're sticking it in there. Even our property management company will be able to now have that because we have the same property standards. If something goes out, they need to replace something, they just run to the warehouse, they grab it. They don't have to worry about going to Lowe's, Home Depot, things like that. So we're getting all of that done. I haven't done the overseas thing, but we also in Ohio, we have these auction houses. So like Amazon and all these big, companies will send all of their stuff that gets returned to these companies, and then they auction it off. So Flip just got probably $20,000 worth of flooring for, I would say, 70% off. We just loaded it in the warehouse. So we're just taking advantage of every opportunity that we have in order to save that. And we just split our pricing. So we're building standardized pricing exactly like you mentioned. So we have labor only. And so we're talking to our contractors and say, if we give you this volume, is this pricing that you would agree to? And we're launching external services. So we just took on our first outside job for another investor, so that we can, just keep everybody busy. And when we promise to keep you busy, we're going to keep you busy. So all of that just started this year.
That's a big deal. I mean, if you can get consistent work where they don't have to guess it, or you can have another house for them, you can have another house for them, they're willing to work with you. They want consistent work. And if you can time it where you finish one house and move them to the next house, that's very builds confidence for the contractors you work with. Now, maybe give a couple good strategies to find some good contractors because I know it's a big headache finding the right ones. What are some of the strategies you guys use to come across quality contractors?
Home Depot, and they like give out free hot dogs. You're always going to find, even our crews go there. It's crazy. You can find people. Also, just going, if you're looking for an electrician, going there and standing in the electrical aisle and be looking for stuff and ask for feedback. Hey, I've got to do this to my house. Or do you happen to be, and if they're there, it's very likely it's an electrician anyway. So we've met a lot of people there. So we camp out at Home Depot and Lowe's. It's been our best resource. If any of us sees a rehab going on while we're driving by, we get out of the car, say hi, what's up? We'll meet them, see if they're a crew that we can use or if they have referrals. And always our in-house crews are always looking for other people who are reliable, because contractors, they come and go. It's a revolving world there. So they're always referring people too, because they want to work with people that are reliable and get the job done.
Yeah, one of those dumpster hunters. That's why I tell people, I have a video where I'm like, guys, you got to get your stuff in and out, get your dumpster out of there, because when other rehabbers drive by, they're going to know the cruiser in there, and you're not there.
That's right. You nailed it.
So it's really powerful I've got a lot of them from Lowe's and Home Depot as well, but I don't just let them jump right on a project. What is the first test phase for them? Do you give them a small job? Do you give them a part of a job? You don't want to just go and give them a $20,000, $30,000 renovation that you're locked into a contract. So how can we protect some of these house flippers when they see someone with their brand on their shirt in the paint aisle next to them? What would you recommend how to approach them?
Yeah, a small job, punch crew. Hey, I've got this one thing that needs paint. You want to ask them what they do, what they specialize in. I always like asking, what don't you do? So I get a quick short list, and I kind of know what everything else. And then because we have property management, hey, help me out on this turn. This is what I need. And I've got, somebody else there, and my project manager is going to go see it. But it's something small, $3,000 or $4,000 worth of work. So we can just kind of test them out. And if it doesn't work, no skin off our back, and we will walk those properties more often than we walk our trusted crews. Those guys, we just walk once a week for payday verification. With our new guys, we'll walk, make sure that they're actually on site, and instead of, we go, have you done this? You go a week later, the work's not done. They never showed up. So we're watching them a little bit more carefully on new jobs.
Yeah, it's important that these new investors need to understand, every single contractor I've ever talked to can do everything. They can do
Yes.
drywall, they can do tile, they can do, but they can't do everything is the point we're making. So be careful. And I like to, if you say, send me some pictures of jobs you've done, as they can find any picture on the internet. Ask
Yes.
them to talk to someone that they work for or go to a house, their job that they're working on right now. Okay, so so the coronavirus virus destroying the stock market, but you said let's turn it into a good thing. So raising money is important when you're doing as many deals as you're doing right now. So what's one of the ways that you're coming across money? So right now you're probably hitting up the phones like a lot of investors are, calling the individuals that are pulling their money out of the stock market. As $1.7 trillion didn't disappear or whatever it was yesterday out of the market and go nowhere. It's just in bank accounts now that they retracted it from, so that it's going to go somewhere for the most part. People are pulling money out. So this is a good opportunity to start working on private money lenders that want a safer investment, that think the stock market's too volatile, where they want to put it into maybe an asset like a turnkey property.
Exactly right. So there's a lot of people who know about our program, and we've got a lot of private lenders. So we've all, our 100% of our private lenders have been referrals. So so many of our private lenders have worked with us for so long, and they don't. A lot of them are Asians. And so they have this big community, and they want to know who to trust and where to put their money, and be it's reliable to come back. And so we get a lot of referrals that way. What I did was I reached out to all of them and said, hey, I know you guys have been referring business for a long time. Here's what happened with the stock market. Who do you want to talk to? And so they've started just sending me more people. And I put a post on Facebook. I'm starting to get messages from anybody who was like, okay, I've been watching you for a long time. Let's talk and let's learn more about your program. So right now is just a really great opportunity, because the more money you have, the more money you can do. And so I always tell everybody, hey, I could use my own capital, but I can never do as much as I'm doing right now if I do not have partners like you helping fund the projects to be able to grow. So that partnership is really, really valuable.
Right. Now, are you doing coaching and consulting, or is that a part of your business model as well? Are you doing training? Are you mentoring people? Are you doing anything like that?
We don't. We used to. I have more fun in the business. I love doing it myself. So there will be a time that we get into it again, but we are really focusing on these 6. I've got, as you said, serial entrepreneur. I've got a list of other companies that I would love to to tag on to what we've built. But I've promised myself, get these 6 done. Build them up as best as you can, and then go from there. So it's just not something that we're doing now. We'll probably do it in the future.
Yeah, so you're just going to be training the investor partners and the agent partners that you work with to make sure that they operate in business. So that leads you to your last step here, that you've completed the puzzle. As you can say, you got everything working together. Now the agent side is, you moved over to eXp Realty with us here just recently, rolled the entire brokerage over, and you're going to be, what we believe, which I know you're going to hit, is what's called an icon agent, which is a very powerful incentive program to top performance, high performance individuals like Dani, which is essentially allowing them to cap at our company. We have an 80-20 split, $16,000 cap. What a lot of agents like about our company is we don't have those dirty little royalty taxes that eat up all our commissions, and nobody likes being taxed, so we don't have taxes on our transactions. So when you cap, you pay in $16,000. If you do 20 sales transactions or leases that hit the requirement size, after that, 20 houses after capping, they will give you your $16,000 you paid in the company back as an award, being called an icon agent. Really, this is what spurred the massive growth of the company, in my opinion, because if you look, the icon program launched in 2015. 2016 is when we tripled our agent count, became the fastest growing company in North American history. It's because it's an incentive program. So how are you going to kind of try to intertwine everything? You're going to kind of give a breakdown. So you have your agents and they're running around working these low equity leads, or kind of give an idea, because I know you're looking for a lot of agents right now to come help all these extra transactions that you kind of, as you scale this quick, you're going to need some help in your market.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to bring them in. We're going to coach them on everything that we do and how we find our properties, so that they can go out and not only send us leads, but find leads of their own. And then we're funneling all of the business that we've already been doing without a brokerage. The turnkey, we've never put on the MLS. We're going to start throwing all of those on the MLS. The retail and the wholesale, we've been outsourcing to other agents. Now we're going to keep that in-house. For anybody that comes in, they're going to get just leads from us. So it's going to capitalize on everything that we're doing already and help the agents grow and get educated here. So you talk about coaching. Well, I'm sure as heck going to coach my team and this family of companies into how to be the best that we can be. And ultimately, we've got this thermometer already on our wall. It says icon status, and we're tracking exactly what it's going to take to get there. And I guarantee we'll get there in 2020. And I want to promote that type of atmosphere and that type of people who have that same, they're self-motivated, they're self-disciplined, and they're ready to just go out there and get it.
Yeah, I mean, when you really run the numbers on it, some of the icon agents that are in our team already, it basically breaks down to where after everything cranks up, they're paying barely over $100 to sell their houses, but they're getting all the benefits of a major brand company, all the different affiliate programs, the health insurance options we now have, the iBuyer options, the massive lead generation tools like KV Core, thousands of dollars of lead generation. Then you get all the partners that help it and the ability to build residual income. So I think you guys see why brokerages are coming to partner with a company. So maybe give them the perspective of why, as a broker that was an independent broker, why would you want to partner with a brokerage? Now I know some of the reasons why a lot of them are coming, but I want to know personally why you did, because it seems counterintuitive to why someone would do this, but there's major reasons for brokerages to partner with EXP, not just normal agents. There's massive incentives to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. So with 5 other companies all working, the last thing I wanted was to really have to put my time and focus into another one. So as I was talking and learning about EXP, that there's 3 things that kept on coming out: reduced liability, reduced overhead, reduced workload, because it's really a plug and play system. So I got to go, I can build a brokerage without all the work and without all the liability and without all the overhead. It was just, this is perfect. There's no reason why I would not launch something like this sooner than I ever had anticipated I was going to.
It's an absolute game changer. So for a broker team member listening to this, let me explain it like this. So we have a virtual brokerage in the cloud. Some of you guys have seen it, but I think a lot of people are getting misinformation marketplace like I did, which is why I waited over a year to join the company. Then I realized what was happening. I joined immediately. So let's say this is your brokerage here. You got 20 agents, 10 agents even. Everything falls on your shoulders. The difficulty to scale it, time reduction, stress. You have, all the marketing costs. Everything falls on you, liability. And so when you come to EXP Partner, there's a virtual building essentially in the cloud with 600 paid plus employees in there that start doing all the maintenance tasks for you. It's an outsourcing system for your time and stress. So I see it as like a 600 plus person app that you attach onto your business. And so now when an agent would have a question that would take up your time, like a contract review question, you say, go to the broker in the cloud. Those brokers in the cloud carry the liability and they review the contract. Let's say it's a question over accounting. Go to the accounting department, go to the tech outpost, go to the auditorium for live training. And the majority of our coaches are icon agents. So the training our companies, high level, they're getting coached by top performance individuals like Dani. So every time a paid employee in the cloud spends 30 minutes answering a question that you used to have to answer that slowed down your day, that took you off your core focus, that time goes back into focus hours of scaling your current businesses or goes to helping trading it towards your friends and family for a better relationship with them. And you're finally able to see those brokers that have been 7 days a week in the prison, the adult daycare, they say, able to coach our kids' soccer team again and really kind of travel the world. And you just went on a vacation.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll keep going more. But yeah, so, personally for me, our team is now selling, up to 100 houses a month. I never see a contract. I carry no liability. And we're getting, able to do this across state lines. So you guys can partner with Dani and probably replicate her systems and investing business in all sorts of different markets. So if you're in Florida, you can partner with Dani and I. If you're in California, you can partner because it's set up on a giant referral system. So it's an absolute game changer for broker owners. And I think you're going to start seeing a lot more teams start to realize that this is what it is. I don't think they understand that this is that they're keeping their brand, but they're outsourcing their time and stress and all the maintenance tasks and the annoying parts of the job. And they get to do the fun part, sell houses, build teams.
That's right. You nailed it.
So what else? Is there anything else? I mean, we kind of went over how your business is all intertwined, lead generation coming down from top, and then the flipping business, the renovation business, and the sales business, and then the turnkey. Is there anything else you want to plug in here that we missed? I mean, we gave a pretty good breakdown to hopefully some of these entrepreneurs coming up kind of see how they can maybe potentially scale a business like yours over time.
Absolutely. Yeah. The final bubble was property management. That's where we land, and it's self-explanatory. I love that we have that in-house now. So we've got that control and we can take care of the residents and owners. I mean, that's a game changer too. So I just love how it all fits together. It's wonderful how the team is realizing, hey, this piece can help this piece, and this is all in-house. I know these people, I trust these people, and they want to, refer business back and forth, and they feel the confidence to be able to do it. So I just love that we got to put Independence Realty Group into the EXP plug and play system, because I'm like, yes, it happened sooner than I ever thought it would. So I'm happy about that.
And it's another residual income stream. So it's the revenue share model is a very powerful cash flow business model that allows you to build a reoccurring, because obviously nothing's passive, but it's residual. And once it's up and going, I mean, you can earn substantial income stream just by helping the company grow. So, okay, so when you're building this, how long did it take you to get this all together? Because I know people are like, obviously you're very impressive, and that took a long time probably to figure it out. How did you just start going and just kind of as it naturally happened, or did you set a vision and you set a goal and you mapped it out and you said, this is where we're working towards and you're just now tying it all together? Or did you start just with one and it just built off of it? Kind of, how did that happen?
Okay, so great question. We started real estate investing in 2008, and actually we became a realtor first. Bad timing. So we scrapped that idea, thought we would just start investing for ourselves. So it's been a long road of learning different real estate strategies and exit strategies. One thing I believe about real estate is you never know everything. So it's kind of exciting for especially an entrepreneur to always be able to grab here, and keep on learning. It keeps the brain working, keeps you at the top of your game. So in 2015, we were introduced to turnkey real estate. And I'm a big cash flow fan. I love passive income. I don't believe in building so much wealth that you just have a dollar amount. I believe in the passive income that hits your mailbox every single month. That gives you the freedom to go do what you want when you want, because that's really where true freedom lies. So when I heard about turnkey, I was like, man, this is perfectly what I'm in tune for, what I'm passionate about in passive income. So we started that in 2015. Ohio happens to be a market where you can capture a lot of property and cash flow for low dollar. You can't do that. I've lived in Arizona and Florida and Texas. You can't do that in those places. So, even though I don't like cold in the winter, I'm in Ohio for real estate investing, because that's where you go for cash flow. So that's really kind of the 2015 was the one strategy I was introduced to, and it moved us here to Ohio. We've been here doing it since, and that was the model we built. And that's what enabled us to launch everything else. Because in turnkey real estate, you need to have the deals. So we had to build an acquisitions company. In turnkey real estate, you have to have property management piece. And so we brought property management in-house so that we could control it and make sure that we're taking care of everything. You have to do rehab. So we built a rehab company. And then the acquisitions company needed leads. So everything kind of branched off that one piece that I just felt really super passionate about. And it grew from there.
It's incredible that what you've been able to build. I'm looking forward to what you're going to do coming years. And so, yeah, I mean, guys, you have to understand you should be doing both sides of business. You should have both, and I was always one that was like, maybe just focus on the investing side, but really you need to be on both sides of business because you have leaks. We have other videos on our channel talking about this. But you should always be focusing on your residual income, guys. It's not about how much money you make, it's about how you make money. And if you have two different individuals making $100,000 a piece, one makes it residually, one makes it actively. One's trading 60 hours a week and has to perform every year. The other one can do what they want with their time, because residuals give you time and money, not just money. So it's very important to understand that. But yeah, Dani, I'm looking forward to what we're going to do over the coming years. Very grateful that you wanted to partner with us. Guys, if you want to join EXP with Dani and I, and you want to learn from her with what she's doing with her investment stuff, we're going to put all her links down below here to her turnkey business. If you're looking to buy turnkey properties, or if you potentially want to reach out to Dani just to find out anything she's doing with her business, we're going to put her contact information below. Other than that, grateful for your time. I know you got a busy schedule day, so I'm going to let you go. And guys, I appreciate you for listening to the podcast today. And thanks, Dani, for coming on.
Thank you so much, Connor. Have a great day.
Okay, thanks, Dani.
All right, bye.